All right, so you're getting ready for an event electrician interview,
Oh, nice.
which means you're about to like power up some seriously cool events.
Yeah.
We've got a whole stack of RoleCatcher resources to help you just absolutely nail it.
Yeah.
Career guides, interview tips, like the whole shebang.
Yeah, think of this deep dive as your backstage pass
Okay,
to
yeah,
interview success, packed with insights.
definitely.
Really impress those hiring managers.
Love it.
Yeah.
First things first, let's dive into the heart of it.
Sure.
What exactly does an event electrician do?
Right.
It's got to be way more than just plugging in a microphone, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Way more. We're talking concerts, conferences, festivals.
Uh-huh.
All those events need temporary power grids.
Right.
Event electricians are the ones who make it all happen.
Wow.
They set up and dismantle those systems, making sure everything from the stage lights to the sound equipment is powered up and running smoothly and safely.
It's a mix of technical skills, on-the-spot problem solving, and a whole lot of thinking on your feet. The RoleCatcher Guide even points out that over half of event electricians have a strong background in building and construction.
Which makes total sense.
Yeah.
Imagine you're rigging a festival stage.
Right.
Knowing how the structure itself works is just as important as the wiring.
Oh, for sure.
It's all connected.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what the job entails.
Okay.
Now let's jump into interview prep mode.
Right.
RoleCatcher has a bunch of common interview questions, and we're going to break them down one by one.
Sounds good.
What's the first one we should tackle?
Let's start with a classic.
Okay.
Can you explain your experience with electrical systems and equipment?
Seems straightforward enough,
Right.
but I'm guessing there's a lot more to it than just reciting your resume.
You're right.
Okay.
This is your chance to shine.
Right.
Instead of just listing off jobs, mention specific certifications,
That-
like your journeyman electrician license.
Uh-huh.
Talk about the types of equipment you've worked with. Generators, distribution panels, lighting systems.
Makes sense.
The more specific, the better.
And don't be afraid to geek out a little.
Oh, yeah.
Let your passion for the field shine through.
Absolutely. Employers want to see that you're genuinely interested in this work, not just looking for any old job.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. Now, they might follow up with something like,
Yeah.
Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot an electrical issue during an event?
Ooh, that's where you get to show off your problem-solving skills under pressure.
Exactly.
You got to have a specific situation in mind.
Yes.
Something that really showcases your ability to think
Yeah.
critically and act quickly.
Exactly. Walk them through the problem,
Yeah.
the steps you took to figure out the cause and how you resolved it.
Love that.
Don't just say, I fixed it.
Right.
Give them the details.
Okay.
Did you analyze diagrams, test circuits, use any specialized tools?
And don't forget to mention what you learned from that experience. Shows
Yeah.
you're always growing.
For sure.
Okay.
Uh,
Next up is a big one. How do you ensure the safety of electrical equipment and wiring during an event?
Right.
This feels like a make or break question.
It absolutely is. You're dealing with high voltage crowds of people.
Yeah.
Safety has to be your top priority.
Sure.
Mention specific protocols you follow,
Okay.
like lockout, tagout procedures, grounding techniques, and regular inspections.
Any specialized training like OSHA certification should definitely be highlighted here.
Right. This question is all about showing them you're committed to a safe working environment for everyone involved.
Okay. This next one seems designed to test your experience.
Right.
Can you give an example of a complex electrical setup you have worked on for an event?
Ah, yes. This is your chance to really paint a picture.
Ooh, I like it.
Think of a challenging project that pushed you to think outside the box.
Okay.
Maybe a large-scale festival with multiple stages, or an event in a tricky location with limited power access.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Walk them through your process. How did you approach the project? What were the hurdles, and how did you overcome them?
Exactly. And remember, specifics make your story memorable.
Right.
Talk about the equipment you used, the calculations you made, the creative solutions you came up with.
All right. Shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with new developments in electrical technology and equipment?
This is where you prove you're a lifelong learner.
I love it.
The event industry is constantly changing.
It is.
So mention any courses or conferences you've attended, trade publications you read, or online forums where you connect with other professionals.
It shows you're dedicated to staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Now, let's say they ask, can you describe your experience with rigging and flying equipment for events?
Okay.
Is that something event electricians need to know?
It definitely comes up.
Okay.
A lot of events involve hanging lights, speakers, video screens.
Okay.
All that needs to be rigged safely.
Makes sense.
So if you have experience in this area,
Okay.
even if it's not your primary focus, definitely mention it.
And, of course, emphasize the safety protocols you follow. Can't stress that enough.
Absolutely. You want them to know that you take safety seriously, especially when you're dealing with heavy equipment suspended above people's heads.
For sure. Okay, on to a question that's all about teamwork.
Right.
How do you communicate with other technicians and event staff to ensure a successful event?
This one's all about your people skills.
Okay.
Event electricians don't work in a vacuum.
Right.
They're part of a team, and clear communication is crucial.
So highlight your ability to communicate effectively with people from different backgrounds and technical expertise.
Think about specific examples of successful collaborations on past projects.
Okay.
Did you coordinate with lighting technicians, work with the stage manager to troubleshoot an issue during a show? Those stories really bring your teamwork skills to life.
All right, this next one is about staying organized under pressure.
Okay.
How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively during an event?
Event setups and dismantles can be a whirlwind of activity.
Yeah.
So having a system is key.
Right.
Describe your approach to time management. Do you use checklists, detailed schedules? Do you break down large tasks into smaller chunks?
And how do you prioritize?
Right.
Do you focus on the most urgent tasks first? Consult with the event manager to make sure you're on the right track.
It's all about showing them you can handle multiple tasks, stay calm under pressure, and adapt to changing priorities.
Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can help tailor answers
Yeah.
and provide feedback for specific job roles.
Oh.
How does that work exactly?
It's pretty incredible. You can upload the job description and the AI analyzes it to pinpoint the exact skills and experience the employer is looking for.
Oh, wow.
Then it gives you personalized suggestions on how to highlight those skills in your answers.
So it's like having a personal interview coach helping you craft the most impactful responses.
Exactly. And it can even analyze your CV for potential gaps you might want to address during the interview.
That's amazing. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of interview prep.
Absolutely. It empowers you to present yourself in the best possible light.
Okay, back to our interview questions. Let's wrap up this section with a classic.
Sounds good.
Can you describe a time when you had to work under pressure to complete a task during an event?
This is a classic behavioral interview question. They want to see how you handle stress and adversity.
So think of a situation where you faced a tight deadline, a technical difficulty, or an unexpected problem. Walk them through it.
Yeah.
What were the challenges? What actions did you take, and what was the outcome?
Focus on the skills you use to manage the stress, problem-solving, critical thinking, communication.
Yeah.
And don't forget to mention what you learned from the experience. Employers love to see growth.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from understanding the role of an event electrician to tackling some tough interview questions, and even getting a glimpse of how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a serious advantage.
You're well on your way to rocking that interview. But before we wrap up, let's take a moment to talk about the career path of an event electrician and what the future holds for this exciting field.
Sounds good.
Yeah. The RoleCatcher Guide breaks down the typical career path really well, starting with entry level and going all the way up to senior event electrician.
Okay.
It's fascinating to see how the responsibilities evolve at each stage.
Right. Like an entry-level event electrician might focus on assisting with setups and dismantles, following instructions from more experienced electricians.
Exactly.
But as you gain experience, you start taking on more independent tasks.
Exactly. You're doing electrical calculations, troubleshooting issues, maybe even mentoring newer electricians.
Right.
And by the time you reach the level of experienced event electrician, you're leading those setups and dismantles, planning installations, and ensuring everything meets code.
The guide even has profiles of people at each stage,
Oh, cool.
which gives you a real sense of what it takes to progress. It's inspiring to see how someone can start as an assistant and eventually become a senior event electrician, overseeing entire event electrical systems.
It really shows that there's a clear path for growth in this field, which is exciting.
Speaking of exciting,
Yeah.
let's talk about what the future holds for event electricians.
Okay.
I mean, the event industry is always pushing boundaries with new technology.
You're spot on. Think about the rise of immersive experiences, interactive installations, and sustainable event practices.
Right.
All of that requires specialized electrical expertise.
So as you're prepping for this interview, it's worth thinking about those future trends.
Definitely.
What skills will be most in demand 5 or 10 years from now?
Exactly. Maybe brush up on energy efficient systems, smart lighting controls, or even touch on your interest in sustainable event production.
Okay.
Showing that you're forward-thinking and adaptable can make a big impression.
It's like you're not just interviewing for this job, you're already thinking about the next level.
Precisely. Now, before we dive into the RoleCatcher AI features,
No.
there are a couple more interview questions we should cover.
You're right. We want to make sure we're leaving no stone unturned.
Yeah.
What do we have next?
Let's talk about the question.
Okay.
How do you handle last-minute changes or unexpected challenges during an event setup?
Ooh, okay.
Live events are notorious for throwing curveballs, so
Okay.
being able to adapt is essential,
Oh, I bet. I can imagine all sorts of things going wrong.
right?
Equipment malfunctions, weather delays, sudden changes in the event schedule.
Exactly. This is where you demonstrate your flexibility and problem-solving skills.
Right.
Share a specific example of a time when you had to think on your feet and adjust to a last-minute change.
Maybe a key piece of equipment failed right before the event,
Uh-huh.
and you had to come up with a creative workaround, or a sudden downpour threatened to short-circuit an outdoor stage, and you had to implement a safety plan.
Exactly. Walk them through your thought process. How did you assess the situation and communicate with the team and find a solution?
And most importantly, did you remain calm and focused under pressure? Those are qualities every event electrician needs.
Absolutely. Now, one more question that might come up is,
Yep.
how do you stay informed about changes in electrical codes and safety regulations?
That makes sense. Safety regulations are constantly evolving, and an event electrician needs to be on top of the latest requirements.
Exactly. So how would you answer that question?
I'd mention professional development resources, like industry publications, online forums, and training courses.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also highlight any memberships in professional organizations that provide updates on codes and regulations.
Perfect. It also wouldn't hurt to mention specific examples of recent code changes you've had to implement in your work.
Right.
It shows that you're actively engaged in keeping your knowledge current.
Okay, now it's time to bring in the big guns.
All right.
RoleCatcher's AI.
Yes.
How can this technology help someone prepare for an event electrician interview?
RoleCatcher's AI is like having a personalized interview coach in your corner. It can analyze job descriptions to identify the specific skills and experience the employer is seeking.
So it's not just generic advice, it's tailored to the exact job you're applying for.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just identifying keywords. It can actually analyze your answers to interview questions
Wow.
and provide feedback on their clarity, conciseness, and relevance to the job requirements.
Wow, so it's like having someone read your answers and give you personalized feedback before you even step foot in the interview room.
Exactly. And it can also analyze your CV to highlight potential gaps in your skills or experience that you might want to address during the interview.
That's incredible. It takes so much of the guesswork out of interview prep.
It really does. It empowers you to put your best foot forward and make a lasting impression.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From the nitty-gritty of what an event electrician does to tackling some of the toughest interview questions and even exploring how technology can give you an edge in the job market.
We've equipped you with the knowledge and tools to shine. But before we wrap up, I think it's important to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
I love a good thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What do you have in mind?
As event technology continues to evolve, like at lightning speed, what skills do you think will be most in demand for the future of event electricians?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
It really gets you thinking about the bigger picture and how you can stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And it's something you could even bring up during the interview
Oh,
to show them you're already thinking about the future of the field.
that's such a great tip.
Yeah.
It shows you're not just looking for a job.
Yeah.
You're passionate about a career in event electrification.
Precisely so. As you're prepping,
Okay.
consider those emerging trends, energy efficiency, sustainability, smart technologies,
Right?
and how you can showcase your skills and knowledge in those areas.
It's all about showing them you're not just qualified, but also excited to be part of shaping the future of events.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Remember, you've got this. Go in there with confidence. Showcase your passion, and don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way. Their resources and AI tools can make all the difference in your job search.
Absolutely. So, best of luck with your interview. We're confident you'll make a fantastic impression.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of the event electrician. We hope you feel empowered and prepared to power up your career in this exciting field.
Until next time, keep those lights shining.